Hey, good to see you again. So I'm going to teach you a trick how to be a lean, mean recruiting machine by giving you a step-by-step booklet of how to recruit so you won't forget. Now, the first and probably the least important thing you're going to do is post your job. Reason you're going to be posting your job is you're going to try to attract some candidates, but this is not going to be your main source of finding the most qualified type candidates. Chances are that 99% of those candidates that are going to be applying to those roles are not going to work out. They won't even answer their phone. So they're just off the top of my mind, not even qualified to be considered for the position. You might end up with that 1%, you never know. But hey, we're going to be pushing on to step number 2 now. Step 2 is going to be the proactive search. In the proactive search, you're going to start looking in your database of candidates, going to LinkedIn, searching for the most qualified talent of the skill sets that you're looking for with the experience level and in years. This is going to be the most effective way of finding people. So you're going to start reaching out, connecting the people, trying to get in contact with them to update you on what their current job search priorities are. So then that way you can consider them for your role if they look good from a skills points perspective. Number 3 is going to be engaging with your candidates. Now, the candidates that got back to you after you called them, you emailed them, you LinkedIn messaged them, you smoke signaled them, those are going to be the candidates you're going to be working with now and trying to see and get an update from them in terms of what their job search is and having that communication with them and trying to understand what they're looking for and if potentially the position that you have for them is going to be the best fit. So technically, this is more of a pre-qualification stage than anything. So you're not wasting time later on in the interviews, which is going to be valuable to you, especially if you're recruiting and you have a short timeline. Let's move on to number 4. This is going to be the interview stage. During the interview stage, you're going to be obviously interviewing the candidates, inviting them in either in office or doing interviews over Zoom. One thing I would recommend is standardizing your process during the interview stage so you can compare apples to apples and not apples to oranges or apples to even watermelons or bananas. So this stage is going to be critical because you'll understand what the skill sets really are of the candidates. You're going to be able to dig into their experience and you're going to be able to qualify them for the position. Number 5, this is going to be the hardest part, and that's going to be keeping your candidates warm, or the art of the follow-up. You're going to have great communication skills and keep your candidates up to date on what the hiring process is currently, what's going on behind the curtain, so the candidate who you do like will continue working with you and keep other things on the back burner as they work through the process with you. This is going to be key to not ghosting your candidates, because if you start ghosting, the people are going to start feeling unsure of your process, unsure of you if this is even moving forward. You're going to be looking for other jobs. So communication is going to be key here. Moving on to number 6, this is going to be the stage of keeping your candidates warm, as I mentioned earlier. So you're going to be speaking with them about the process, but then also if there are secondary interviews that need to schedule for them, be scheduling those secondary interviews and pushing them through your pipeline to get down to the most qualified candidates that you would consider and extend an offer to. Number 7. So let's say you got as far as number 7 at this point, you're going to be extending offers to them right now. Now, this is obviously understanding that the candidates haven't left by the time you've gotten to this stage. Obviously, hopefully you've hurried up already, so you didn't take too much time interviewing everyone, getting them through your pipeline. So at this point, you're going to be extending offers to candidates and negotiating with them to see if they will come over to your company, what the offer would be, what the benefits would be, etc. So this is part of the sales stage too, because especially if the candidate already has a couple of other offers or maybe just one offer, they're trying to really decide between your company and the other company. And number 8, so this is going to be the end. You've gotten all the way through the interviews, you've gotten all the way through the secondary interviews, the qualification rounds, etc. And the candidate is still available. They've accepted your offer. Now it comes the onboarding piece. I've seen onboarding fail too, just because the candidate got another offer. They ended up not taking the offer that you offered them, even after they've told you that they would take the offer. So I would recommend moving fast during the stage 2, making sure that onboarding is not going to take 1 or 2 months for them to come and start working at your company. Recently I've seen one company lose out on a candidate because their onboarding process was scheduled a month and a half in advance. So the candidate unfortunately found something else. They went to another position that was going to start them sooner. So don't lose out on your great candidates, especially after all the time that you've invested in them. So keep on pushing through the pipeline and make sure that you get them the offer in the most timely time frame. And that's it. So you finished with the whole process. You got your candidate. Everything turned out okay. They started working. And now that's the end of the process. So hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully now you can be a lean, mean recruiting machine. This is not going to be everything that is involved in recruiting, but a huge piece. It's very time consuming, very task intensive, and you have to be quite diligent whenever you're sourcing your candidates and moving them through the process, and you have to work at a fast pace. Anyways, I got a pro tip for you, and that pro tip is communication is going to be key to really retaining the candidates and making sure that they understand your process. And also candidates appreciate that on the back end as well, just because they build a relationship with you. So let's say if something doesn't work out towards the end, and the candidate does not get hired by your company, they go somewhere else, then you never know, maybe a year, 6 months, 2 years later, that candidate would still be considering and open to working with your company if something didn't work out. So you want to have that good relationship with them through communication to see potentially if something might happen for you down the pipeline. Anyways, hope this is helpful. Leave any comments down below. Direct message me if you have any questions. More than happy to help anyone out there, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, take care. Bye.